Hi guys, I really wish journalists would not allow Nigel Farage to set the narrative during interviews. So the Reform UK leader appeared on the BBC where he was asked about net zero, and Farage believes it's folly for the UK to continue down the road of reducing carbon emissions. Why? Well, because China. Now his party and himself have said on a number of occasions that the UK should return to coal, but there are some fundamental problems with that, which unfortunately is never brought up by journalists. Have a listen to this.
Richard Tice, who's your deputy leader, said last year, net zero will make zero difference
yes, it will.
to climate change.
Absolutely
So you're
zero.
saying not just we should go slower, we should scrap all objectives, all targets to reduce our carbon emissions, forget it.
We've already reduced our carbon emissions by 50% since 1990, more than any other country in the world.
But forgive me, just for clarity, Mr. Farage, I don't want to interrupt you. I want to make you to make an argument.
We've done it by
Do you want to scrap all targets? Do you think there's no need for climate change policy at all?
I think we should scrap the net zero targets. Yes, absolutely. I think they're going to make zero difference to the world.
What is your policy for dealing with climate change then?
Well, Nick, you better go and talk to the Chinese about that. You better
I'm
go
talking
and talk
to you.
the
What's
Indians.
your policy for reducing climate change?
We make no difference whatsoever. I think we should be mining our own coal that we need for our steelworks. I think we should be self-sufficient, in fact, even an exporter of
if
gas.
the climate warms, so be it.
We make no difference.
What,
That
not
is
even
the
in
point.
leadership, Mr. Farage? So
I've heard
we can
that
do what we
argument.
like,
I've heard that
and
argument.
it doesn't make any difference.
I've heard that argument for nearly 3 decades, and it hasn't worked.
You know, when he was convincing people to vote for Brexit, he said, we were going to lead the world. You know, we're held back by the European Union. Now, when it comes to climate change, it's like, no, there's nothing Britain can do. Now, there's a few things I need to respond to here. I really wish journalists would stop talking about the environmental aspect of this with people like Nigel Farage, because he obviously doesn't care. But there's an economic argument when it comes to net zero. This is about insulating homes, which reduces energy costs. This is about a Green New Deal type thing where you have high-paying jobs in a new energy sector, moving away from coal. Now, Farage has mentioned coal and gas here. First of all, when it comes to coal, there's been a decline in domestic production in the UK over the last number of decades. It's been cheaper to import coal from abroad. Now, Farage is talking about reopening coal mines. That would actually be more expensive than just importing it. And let's park for a moment the environmental damage it would cause, and also the health issues related to people working in mines. Nigel Farage will not be down in the mine getting black lung. Okay, it'll be somebody else. Doesn't it make more sense from a public health point of view that people are working on green technology as opposed to working down mines? And the UK has limited reserves of coal. So that doesn't make much economic sense either. Now, when it comes to gas, he's, of course, an advocate for fracking, and he's, of course, not in his backyard, but also the gas reserves, and we've heard this before, the North Sea oil and gas is running out, or it's becoming more and more difficult to access those reserves, so it's more expensive. And, of course, any oil or gas that is discovered and extracted is sold on the international market. Now, is Farage going to use the power of the state to take control of that oil and gas? Or does he believe in the free market? People like him are connected to the fossil fuel industry. They take money from the fossil fuel industry. So, of course, they're not going to be advocates for renewable energy. But I think there's no point bringing up the environmental aspect of this with people like Farage. You need to bring up the economic argument. Okay, how many jobs are going to be created if we reopen coal mines? What are the what's the environmental impact of that? Have you done an impact assessment? Has Reform UK done a study? Can we have a look at the study? You have a lot of policies that you seem to believe in, but have you actually put your money where your mouth is? It's a joke party. It's a protest party. They don't actually have any real plans. They're about shifting policy in a particular direction, reducing taxes for the richest in society, cutting regulations for corrupt businesses. This is what it's about. He doesn't care about ordinary workers. He doesn't care about members of the public. He certainly doesn't care about the environment. Notice here, he was like, no, we will not be a leader on the world stage. While before Brexit, of course, Britain would rule the waves once again. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.